than 360 firefighters from Germany, Romania, Poland and Austria join in the battle against wildfires in southwestern France.
Acclaimed author Salman Rushdie is on a ventilator and unable to speak after he was stabbed at an event in New York on Friday. As shelling continues near Europe's largest power plant, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky insists on Western travel bans for all Russian citizens. Taliban fighters unleash warning shots as a rare women's rights protest is staged in Afghanistan's capital city.
A smouldering wasteland in the Gironde region of southwestern France. The massive blaze here and in the neighbouring Landes has ravaged pine forests. An area of more than 74 square kilometres has burned since Tuesday and led to the evacuation of at least 10,000 people. Firefighters from across Europe have now joined in to help battle several wildfires, including in the southwest. These German firemen have been at work since Friday morning.
We're proud to be here. All the colleagues are very keen to learn, to improve and of course to help the French firefighters in an efficient way.
More than 360 firefighters and specialised vehicles have arrived from Germany, Romania, Poland and Austria. They joined over 1,000 French firefighters already on site.
Without them, we wouldn't have had the resources committed here, or we would have committed the resources to the detriment of other sectors.
Yesterday, as the foreign and French firefighters worked flat out, the fires in the region appeared contained. But local authorities have warned that the ongoing blistering temperatures mean that victory is still uncertain. Streets turned into rivers in southern Italy. The aftermath of flash floods following violent thunderstorms on Friday. The worst hit area was the coastal town of Silla. A combination of high seas and the rain has damaged the seafront promenade and destroyed bathing areas. And locals say rivers of mud washed cars and debris down the streets.
I need my car to live and work. I'm in a situation where I've lost everything. I've lost everything.
This happens every year. It's not an episode. It happens every year because the pipes are too tight. So what happens is that the manholes blow.
Firefighters have been called out across the region to clear streets buried by mud, fallen trees and other debris. Authorities say the impact of landslides on the volcanic island of Stromboli were worse because of a recent fire which cleared all vegetation.
Acclaimed author Salman Rushdie is on a ventilator and unable to speak after being attacked at an event in the United States. The 75-year-old who received death threats after writing his controversial book, The Satanic Verses, was stabbed in the neck on Friday evening.
Here's the man. Can you get it?
Police raided the house of suspected attacker Hadi Matar, a 24-year-old man from New Jersey who was arrested at the scene. Detectives say they're still trying to establish a motive behind the attack.
Have any idea at this point? Like I said, it's very early. We don't have any indication of a motive at this time, but we are working with the FBI, the Sheriff's Office, and we will determine what the cause of this was or what the motive for this attack was.
Indian-born Rushdie has received praise and criticism for his work, which most notably includes his 1988 novel, which was considered blasphemous by some Muslims due to its references to the Prophet Muhammad. He's since become an advocate for freedom of speech and has defended his work on several occasions.
At least 11 people have died after a shooting rampage in Montenegro. The incident happened on Friday afternoon local time when a 34-year-old man also shot two siblings with a hunting rifle. They were aged 8 and 11. 6 other people were injured. The Montenegrin Prime Minister says that this is an inconceivable tragedy in Montenegro. I'm asking citizens of Montenegro to keep the families of the killed in their thoughts. We are praying that all the injured ones, especially ones with bad injuries, survive and that everything ends well for them. It's understood that the family were staying in the shooter's house as tenants. Authorities say it's unclear what the motive was. A 3-day mourning period was declared in the country on Friday.
Living just kilometres from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station, the largest in Europe, residents of Marganets in Ukraine say they're terrified about military bombardments in the area. The UN warns continued shelling near the plant could, as they put it, lead to disaster. This resident says, "We know the result of radiation and what might happen if something goes wrong." Ksenia, a coffee shop vendor, adds, "I'm scared for my parents and myself. I want to live and enjoy life in this city. I wish this wasn't happening. It's scary." Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is doubling down on his calls for Western countries to enforce a travel ban for all Russian citizens. Speaking in his nightly address, Zelensky says, "We need guarantees that Russian murderers and supporters of state terror won't use the Schengen area. It's not acceptable to ruin the very idea of Europe and our common European values. It's not possible to turn Europe into a supermarket where anyone can come in and pay for goods. Visa restrictions for Russian citizens are fair, and all defenders of European values should insist on them." Vladimir Putin's Russia already faces widespread sanctions from the West, but restrictions do not yet extend to a comprehensive travel ban. This is the moment Taliban officials fired gunshots into the air to disperse a rare women's protest in Afghanistan's capital of Kabul. Chanting bread, work and freedom, around 40 women marched in front of the Education Ministry on Saturday, just days before the Taliban marks its first year in power. Strict laws regulate women's rights in the country, with limits on their ability to work and have an education, as well as restrictions on travelling alone. Some protesters were reportedly beaten by Taliban fighters, who intervened to break up the demonstration. FBI agents seized documents labelled as top secret from former US President Donald Trump's home as part of an investigation linked to the Espionage Act. This newly published search warrant reveals that officials removed 11 sets of files from Trump's Mar-a-Lago seaside residence in Florida. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the retrieval of the documents represents a very serious situation.
So when we talk about this, there are laws against the improper handling of this material. There are laws against that, and we have to recognize that. This information, as it is coming across, and we'll know more later, is highly classified, well above top secret.
Mr. Trump denies any wrongdoing and says the documents were declassified. Among the files was allegedly information about the President of France and an order pardoning Trump's long-standing ally, Roger Stone. Removing classified documents is illegal under the US's Espionage Act and can carry a 5-year prison sentence. Alarm bells are ringing in New York City as polio has been detected in wastewater after it was thought to have been eradicated in the United States almost 10 years ago. Health officials say it suggests the disease, which can be deadly, is already circulating locally. They've urged parents to ensure their children are vaccinated against polio, following similar advice in London this week after the virus was also detected there. Polio was once one of the most feared diseases in the United States, with annual outbreaks causing thousands of cases of paralysis, mostly among children. From 1955, vaccines became available and annual cases in the US dropped, with the last recorded diagnosis in 2013.